So yeah, like I was saying, like, you know, that day's gonna come anyway, you know, so you might as well just live your life and enjoy your life until that day comes anyway, because it's a natural part of life. It's a part of the natural cycle of life. So, you know, no point, you know, taking matters into your own hands or doing anything like that. You know, all you're doing is robbing your loved ones of the person that they love, and you know, and not only that, but like I said earlier, it's not always going to be. It's not always going to be. It's not going to rain every day. I'm just making that as using that as like an analogy. Like, it's not going to rain every day. There are going to be sunny days as well, where everything's going to be nice and good, and you're going to enjoy every moment of that day.
I quite love the rain personally. You know, like you got to be positive.
Oh, of course.
I think about the weather really. You know, like I said, don't. It's only temporary, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, you know, just, you know, like they say that, you know, like my old sayings, mate.
Oh no, not
another old saying. Every dark cloud
has a silver lining.
Voila. Thank you, mate. Well finished. You call that an alley-oop in basketball. I throw it up and he slam dunks it. Yeah.
But does it?
It does. I believe so, mate. I believe. Well, not in every case. Not in every case, because sometimes, you know, people are. Sometimes terrible shit happens that no one expects or predicts. You know, sometimes there are wicked people out there that just do wicked shit and take people's lives for no reason whatsoever. You know, just because they were having a bad day or they started tripping out about something. You know. So, you know. Sometimes unpredictable shit happens and people get killed, but you know, people lose their life, due to senseless violence, or you know, so yeah. But yeah, got to stay positive, people. You know, positivity is the conversation. You know, it's the main topic of tonight, and
it's important, isn't it?
It is. You know. Just no matter how hard life gets, just know that you can overcome that shit. You know, obstacles. You know, how I look at things is that it's life has lessons. You know, we're all here. I kind of look at Earth as kind of like a university. It's almost like we come here to like learn different lessons about life and etc. You know. I think it's all a learning process, you know, right up until the day we go. You know, it's like you said earlier, we're always learning. Every day we're learning something new, something, you know, in some way, shape, or form. So
there's lots of things to learn as well.
Yeah.
You know, like even you know, your own emotions, and you know.
Yeah.
That's an intelligence as well.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still learning about my own emotions. You know. I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a perfect human being, but you know, I'm trying.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I always try my best. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I think, you know, every day something goes wrong a little bit in my life, but I carry on.
Yeah.
You know, and that's it. You know, like if you fall over, you get up, don't you?
That's it.
You know, you don't stay down. You know. You've got to keep going up, you know. My brother's doing a post round at the moment, you know, he's got this new job.
Yeah.
And
Postman Pat.
Bless him. And a couple of days ago, he phoned me up in the morning. He said I've broken my leg.
Oh no!
Yeah, he slipped up on some ice.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, he slipped up on
No,
some
you're
ice.
kidding me, mate.
I'm not lying to you.
I was going to say, your brother...
He's got a major operation.
Your brother's a lovely bloke, but he seems to be quite unlucky.
Yeah.
Seems to be quite unlucky, mate, when it comes to that kind of stuff.
You know,
it seems that things happen to him quite frequently, unfortunately, it seems, mate, where he's...
I do, you know, like he's had quite a few accidents before, you know, and I won't tell you all about whatever. He's broken quite a few bones, you know.
Bless him,
whatever. You know.
Well, I hope him a speedy recovery, of course, and I hope he gets better soon.
Well, he's having a major operation, you know what I mean? It's quite a bad break, apparently.
Wow.
Whatever, you know.
So he slipped up on some ice, when he was doing his round?
Well, he got up in the morning and he went out and he broke it, he dropped his keys and, you know, it's a little bit dark. He went to pick them up and then he went flying.
Shit.
And then broke his leg and he ended up in hospital. Do you know what I mean? He's still in there now.
So where was he? Was he on the Isle of Wight at the time? Yeah. Okay.
You know,
yeah.
but so he can't wear it now. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So he's yeah.
So he's looking at a good 3 to 6 months of recovery time, really. Because what if it is a bad break? If you break your leg anyway, not even just a bad break, but if you break your leg anyway, you're looking at a good few months of like recovery and like rehabilitation and like maybe a bit of like physio to start walking again and getting strength back in your leg and all that type of shit.
But he was okay, you know. Like he didn't sound depressed.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, he wasn't in pain either. You know, but he said that he's in hospital. Do you know what I mean? But
Oh,
I'm just sort of saying, you know, this can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You know, like I think like you could be the wisest person in the world, right? And you could all of a sudden have an accident. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, you know, we're all vulnerable to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a kind of way, you know.
Bless him. Well, hopefully he'll have a speedy recovery, mate, and he'll be feeling right as rain again soon, hopefully. You know? Yeah. Well, bless him. The only reason I said that is because I know you've told me a few things in the past, and I was like, wow, well, you know, you poor bloke, he's had something, you know, something else has gone wrong, you know.
Well, I think to myself, like, I've never really slipped up like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a bit more careful, you know. And you've got to be careful in life, you know. You know, like when I'm walking, I'm really careful about where I'm walking.
Yeah. Well, I remember even a few years ago when everything was completely iced over. A few years ago, I think back in like 2018, I think it was 2019, something like that. It was really bad ice one morning to the point where we couldn't even get the car out the driveway. If you see what I mean, there was so much snow and ice. If you see what I mean, everything was literally turned into ice. And even walking to the car, there was ice everywhere. And it's slippery as everything. But even then, we didn't fall over. If you see what I mean, we still managed to navigate. You know, almost slipped up. You know, every couple of feet, you almost slipped up. You know what I mean? Every couple of feet, but we still stayed on our feet, kind of thing. Like still. You know, so, yeah.
You just got, you know, like I say, you got to be careful in life, haven't you? You know?
That's it, you know.
And I think you just got to be positive. I mean, even when you break your leg, like my brother's done. Now he's got to stay in hospital, or whatever, and recover. You know, but
he'll have some free meals, and you know, I mean.
Well, yeah, but in a sense, he was quite happy, you know, because I think this job was quite hard work.
Yeah.
I mean, he had, you know, he's getting on now. Do you know what I mean? He can't walk miles and miles. Do you know what I mean? And I think he was quite relieved that he broke his leg in a funny way, you know, so he could have a holiday.
Have a holiday, rest.
You know, like have a break.
Have a break.
He sounded quite happy.
Have a break.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Good one.
Have a break, mate. Sorry. No pun intended. You know what I mean?
Well, you've got to be a positive.
I'm not laughing at his expense. That is just funny, though. You know the fact that
Well, you've got to be
he
positive.
said he's having a break and he's literally broken something. You know?
Well, Bob said, he's having a real break.
He's having a real break. Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. But you've got to be positive about these things, you know. I mean, if I broke my leg, you know, what can you do? Apart from get better.
That's it.
You know, you just got to sit down and get better.
Well, that's what you can do. You've got to do what the doctors tell you to do. Stay in the hospital for however many weeks until they kind of discharge you. You know what I mean? They say, okay, well, you know.
I think when you get sick, you've got to try to be positive about it.
Oh, yeah, for sure, yeah.
That's how you recover, really, isn't it? By being positive, you know.
Yeah. It's all in the mind. If you say to yourself, you are healthy, get up every day and say, I am healthy. I am healthy. I am strong. I am powerful. You know, you're communicating. You know, you're talking. Essentially, you're programming your own mind. Essentially, it goes back to like I was saying earlier. When I do affirmations in the morning, walking to work, I always say, you know, give thanks for life. Give thanks for everything I have. Give thanks for everything I'm blessed with. Everything that is bestowed upon me and my family. And you know, like I said, I'm grateful and thankful, appreciative for everything. If you see what I mean, you know. It all goes back to programming your mind into, you know, I think that everything is in the mind, you know, even when people say things, sometimes people say things, say bad shit, you know, or say, you know, something negative and they manifest it in their life, you know what I mean, it really happens, or, you know, something awful happens, you know. I think you've got to be careful, you know, so.
Well, I think if you're negative, I think you tend to end up with negative people.
Yeah.
In a funny way, you know, and,
yeah.
You know.
Like-minded people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, you know.
Yeah.
I think we all kind of like group together, you know, like, you know, you're interested in music, I am too, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We kind of like connected in that way, you know.
Yeah.
And I think people connect in, you know, on their hobbies sometimes and their likes a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's how we first started. That was our kind of first conversation. Because obviously, when you were
Music,
helping me to move, obviously
yeah.
you saw that at the time I had a production keyboard for my iPad.
Yeah.
That's when I used to make my own, started making my own beats and stuff like that. You
And
know?
then I started chatting, didn't I? Do you know what I mean? And
and
we
then-
got on,
and
didn't we, on our
and
first
then-
conversation, didn't we?
Yeah, so that's what kind of sparked the conversations initially, and then obviously, what 10 years later now, almost,
Yeah.
10 years roughly, something like that, close to 10 years anyway, that we've known each other and, you know, been good mates, and so,
Yeah.
you know, give thanks, you know, because, you know, two positive people, you know, two positive outlooks, and, you know, just positive about life and positive about progress, and, you know, and growth, and not just being stuck in the same mentality or same, you know, same kind of like
Matrix.
yeah, if you see what I mean,
Yeah.
just like, you know, yeah, free of that, you know.
Like,
you
I know I've been drawing all my life, yeah.
know. Yeah.
Wow. I used to draw a lot when I was at school, okay?
Okay.
You know, and I was a pretty good artist, okay?
Yeah.
You know, and I haven't really done much drawing this day, to be honest with you, do you know what I mean? For a number of years, you know, purely because I know that I can do it
Yeah.
in one way, you know, and I kind of think like, well, what's the point of spending hours drawing something, you know, in a funny way, you know? But then I've learned digital art, whatever, you know, and I think, hang on, you know, I could sort of like still learn about drawing if I want to get better at drawing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, tomorrow if you decided
You know,
that
I'm
you
not
wanted,
the best drawer in the world, do you know what I mean? But
no,
I
but
know
if you woke up tomorrow and said, listen, I'm going to spend the next 10 years,
drawing.
I'm going to spend every day of the next 10 years, I'm going to spend 2 hours every day
Yeah.
of the next 5-10 years to become the best
I think you can always improve.
freelance drawer.
There's always improving on what you're, you know, what you are,
Yeah.
or what you can do.
Yeah.
I think.
And even today, you can even watch YouTube tutorials, even
Yeah.
today, about even drawing and stuff like this, where they will actually show you and teach you how to draw certain things, how to start and how to kind of move the pencil or the pen or whatever. And
little tricks. But I think like even if you spent a century at drawing every hour, do you know what I mean? You could still draw.
Yeah.
You know, and still become better somehow. Do you know what I mean? You know, even if you draw for 1,000 years, do you know what I mean? It's quite phenomenal, really, when you think about it.
Yeah.
You know, where, you know, and that's just one little
example.
Yeah. You know, of what we can. You know, we were talking about cooking earlier on. Do you know what I mean? That's another example. You know, of you know, I don't think you can ever stop learning about cooking.
Yeah.
You know.
I love cooking personally too.
Yeah.
I love cooking. I love making my own food and, you know, seasoning it, you know, not nicely seasoned and everything the way I like it, and, you know, like, you know, I've learned, even me, like, over the years, over these last 10 years, like, I remember starting cooking from young, and obviously when you're cooking like when you're young, you're not really like cooking, you're just kind of like putting stuff in the oven, if you see what I mean. Like, you know, you might be making yourself some chicken nuggets and chips in the oven, like when, you know, everyone's out, you know, but you could still go eat something. So you're 9-10 years old and you've learned how to use the oven for the first, you know, time, and learn how to cook your food properly, and, you know, make sure it's cooked, and, you know, so you don't get food poisoning and shit. But yeah, I remember when I hit about 13, 14, that's when I first started cooking. I remember my mum having me in the kitchen, like watching her like preparing certain things, like how she would do certain things and prepare certain meals, and showing me little things, you know, and, you know. So
slowly pick it up.
I picked it up from her, kind of, really, and then obviously I started teaching myself. And I remember at one point too, I think when I hit about 15, 16, one of the rules of the house that my mum made of the house, so, you know, as long as you were still living under her umbrella, each of us had to cook a meal a week, you know. My mum would cook like maybe 4 times a week, and then the other 2 days, you know, 2 days a week, my sister would cook a meal, and then the other day I'd cook a meal, and then maybe one day we'd have a takeaway or something, if you see what I mean. So yeah.
I don't think it's no good if you don't teach your children not cook.
But that's what we had to do. Like one day a week, we'd have to tell my mum like in advance what we were going to cook. So that obviously when she goes to supermarkets, you can buy the ingredients of what we decided to cook for us at that meal that we were going to, you know, my sister was going to cook that for that week, and I was going to cook for that week, you know. And that's what kind of encouraged us to do it as well. And it was also a discipline to also saying, listen, you've got to, you know, you've got to take your turn.
You can imagine,
you've got to take your turn, kind of thing too.
You can imagine some people, a lot of people maybe,
yeah,
don't know to cook, honestly. They really don't, you know, they're even scared of the oven, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know.
But it's quite easy, really. It's quite easy. Like everything, like even me, like I'm like all the meals that I've ever prepared today. Everyone always tells me that they enjoy. Like I can't remember the last time in the last maybe 10 years that I've prepared a meal that someone said to me they didn't like it. If you see what I mean. Like that's one thing that I've honed my skills in as well. I must say, is cooking. Like every time I cook for my wife, my kids, any of my family members, any friends, sometimes even as well. Once in a very blue moon, they always say, "Oh, that was lovely." You know, that was
I'm quite happy with what I know with cooking.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm quite happy.
Yeah.
You know, like I think it's all to do with, again, a bit of compassion. You know, when you cook something,
Yeah.
you know, it's putting your energy into it, your thought,
Yeah.
your time,
And
you
love,
know,
and love too into it.
a bit, yeah. I think you know, and you know.
And by love, I mean the time, like taking your time to prepare it properly.
And confidence as well, knowing that it's going to be good.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Mm.
I think that's all to do with it as well. You know.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's getting confidence with a number of things out there.
And I think cooking is also like experimentation as well, like you said, like we were talking about earlier in you know, at one point as well. It's like, okay, me, I like to use a lot of herbs and spices and stuff like that in my food, but it's also throughout time, over time, you get to learn what herbs and spices go nicely together, and what herbs and spices might not taste so nice together.
You can experiment, can't you?
Depending on what you're cooking. Certain herbs and spices might be nice on fish, but they might not necessarily be so nice if you're cooking a piece of beef or something, maybe some beef or a bit of pork or something. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just a learning process, isn't it? You know, like most things, you know, just experimentation and then learning to make your own meals and come up with your own ideas even as well. You know.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, this weekend, alright, I could go shopping, buy loads of different bits of fruit, you know, lots of different, you know, and make my own cake.
Yeah.
You know, invent my own you know, experiment.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm.
Make a Neapolitan
I don't
cake.
know, and you know, it probably wouldn't sell in the shops, but I can invent something really nice. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure,
and make it every week from now on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and actually share it on YouTube. Do you know what I mean? My new recipe. You know.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and I think like that's it. You know, we can be inventive, can't we?
Yeah.
With things. You know, I think it's really. I love being inventive.
Mm.
To be honest with you.
Well, it is being creative, isn't it? It is being creative. It is, yeah.
To be honest with you, I've been a little bit like from a young age. Yeah, from an early age, I used to sort of take radios apart. You know, I was interested in electronics. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
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 To the detriment of some of your brother's equipment.
Oh yeah, yeah. One time my mum bought us this reel-to-reel. She bought it because my brother was interested in music.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Synthesizer, you know, this all synthesizer whatever, and
Yeah.
he was doing music, you know, and she kind of brought it for both of us because it cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, I can't remember how much it cost, all right, but it costed a lot of money for that time, all right, and she knew you know, my brother would love it, you know, and I loved it as well, you know, and my brother went out or whatever, you know, sort of we had it Christmas, and when he come back, it was all in pieces, you know. I took it in pieces, you know. I want to sort of like take everything apart at that age, you know what I mean? I was a bit like a little mad scientist.
Well, I guess it was curiosity, innit, really? To be honest about it, it was just your curiosity as to how it kind of works and how it, you know, like the mechanics.
Well, the motor is, that's what I like though. You know, but the thing is, alright, I took this thing apart, right, and there's a million pieces, as you can imagine, alright?
Yeah.
Lots of screws everywhere.
Yeah.
Alright? And I couldn't put it together again, you know. I was trying, you know, but I couldn't, and it didn't work after that, do you know what I mean? So my brother was quite angry with me, you know. And, you know, that was one story, you know.
Yeah.
And as I got a bit older, I did go and see my dad sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, and he gave me this DJ light, you know, and I pulled it apart and put some tin cans and put it in the corner of my room, you know. So I had these disco lights in each corner of my room, you know, and I was only like 14, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My mum went mad, you know what I mean? She saw these wires everywhere, you know. And there's another time, sort of when I think I was about 15, I invented this sort of switch that went on the stairs, alright? There's a wire that went all the way on, right down, underneath the stairs. And if anybody trod on the bottom stairs, it turned this light on.
Ah, so you knew someone was coming.
Yeah, you know, and I could hide my girlfriends away. So,
Yeah.
You know, things like that, you know, I sort of knew. It just gave me an alarm, you know, and I was a bit of an inventor, basically, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and I did do an MBQ 1 and 2
Yeah.
in electronics. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, and
So what if someone stood on the bottom stair? It would kind of what kind?
it would just flash a light in my room. It turned
Ah,
light on.
I see. Okay, cool.
So
I see. Yeah.
it would just alert me.
You knew someone was on the way up.
Yeah, it's just a plate basically, you know, and if anyone stepped on it, it pushed the two plates together. It's a switch, you know, a simple switch, you know. But even so, for 14, you know, I was 14 and I was putting all these wire gadgets together. I was a bit like
mad scientist, like you're saying.
Inspector Gadget.
Inspector Gadget, yeah.
You know, I was always kind of inventing things, you know, and I used to be quite inventive with my friends as well, you know, when I was younger.
Yeah.
You know, and I did enjoy my childhood. Do you know what I mean? I did have a, like I say, not the perfect childhood because I didn't have my parents, you know, and they didn't stay together. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's a downfall for any child, I think. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a bit, it's very difficult, you know, like for instance, as I was growing up, my dad kind of loved my brother a little bit more. I think it's because he's older, and the man tends to bond with the older child a little bit more for some reason because he knows them a little bit more. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit different with the women, I think, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, my dad used to buy my brother Christmas presents every year.
Yeah.
But nothing for me. You know, do you know what I mean?
I see. Yeah.
And that's upsetting. You know, but you know, going through that kind of toughness as a child, it kind of hardened me up.
Yeah.
Where it didn't my brother.
Yeah.
In a funny way, you know, where, you know, I mean, my brother's more intelligent in different ways than me. Do you know what I mean? I think like everyone's got their own different intelligence in a funny way. Do you know what I mean? You know, and maturities as well. Like, I think like mature. You can be mature in certain ways, but not in others. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
You know, maturity's a number of things.
Age doesn't always mean wisdom.
No, it doesn't. You know.
No, like they say that old saying. Another old saying, old fools. You know, sometimes you hear that old saying, "Oh, he's an old fool." You know, so age doesn't always define wisdom. You know, definitely.
No, of course it doesn't. You know, like yeah. Well, you can be 99 but stupid.